Thank you, Senator.
Sorry to interrupt your remarks. Always good to come back to the House side where I served with your father. I first knew of Tom Lantos in 1982 when I was running for the House. He was already here. I knew who he was. He had been a professor at university professor in California, and he sent me money for my first election. And when I got here, he was one of the first people I met, and he told me and suggested that it would be good if I got on the Foreign Affairs Committee, which I did, and that was a wonderful experience. I served for 2 years there. I tell everybody it was like going to school and not having to take the tests because you learned so much every time there was a meeting. Tom Lantos was really a role model for me. He had many of the things that I didn't have. He had this unique personal figure, tall, slender, but his speaking ability, I have to be honest with you, that's something I always envied. He could stand and give a speech, and even if he didn't have much to say, it sounded good. He had that very slight Hungarian accent, and I was happy to come here today because it gave me a chance to reflect with you what a wonderful human being Tom Lantos was. The times we spent together traveling the world, the times we spent together calculating what we should do politically for someone we wanted to be elected president or chairman of a committee, that was remarkable for me. Today, let me just share one experience that I had. Senator Daschle and I, with a number of other senators, had traveled to see what was going on in the Balkans. And our place of, so we could move around, there was different countries, was Hungary. And we spent about more than a week there, in and out of Hungary. During part of that time, we met up with Tom Lantos. He spent the better part of a day taking us around and showing us where some of the things that had happened to him when he was trying to escape, and did escape on a number of occasions, the Nazis. That was a wonderful tutorial that was, for us, taught not only by a college professor, but someone who had survived the Holocaust. The relationship of him and his wonderful Annette is something that books have been written about and should be. To see those little kids in the picture that they have, in love with each other from the time they were little children until the day that Tom died, and the love they have will go on for a long, long time after they both depart from this earth. So I'm happy to be here, the 4th anniversary. I appreciate this good work. It's important that people are, even sometimes they don't want to be reminded that what took place in the Holocaust, and people who deny it should be reminded that what they're talking about is absolutely